What is up, everybody? It is KR0, and I have just finished watching The Marvels by Marvel, by the MCU, and all that stuff. It was actually a good movie, regardless of what a lot of people are saying online, especially the ones who haven't gone to see the movie, that just come up with their opinions about this movie on the previews and the commercials and all that stuff. This movie was actually pretty good. It was, I will say this for a fact, it was a damn sight better than Captain Marvel. Like, it is an improvement upon Captain Marvel, which, like, that movie was not the best movie for Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. However, this movie was an improvement upon that. And I agree with, there's a little bit of a like, the way it comes at you is kind of like jumbled. It seems kind of jumbled, but considering the premise of the whole of the plot, given that the characters actually do kind of like switch up, at the beginning of the movie it does kind of seem jumbled, but by the end of the movie it starts coming together kind of summer. It kind of fits with the narrative of what's going on. So it's like the plot of the movie kind of starts off jumbled, but then becomes a cohesive thing by the end. Now, there are still a few problems, don't get me wrong, but not in the acting. I feel like it was just the way they edited it. There was a few little problems. Dar-Benn as the villain, she could have had a little bit more like character development, which is, yeah. But other than that, overall the movie was fun to watch. It wasn't like some kind of, it didn't have it's it didn't have a connection. It was really its own plot point. Didn't have a true connection to everything that was going to happen in phase 5 or 6, or what Marvel's building up to. I think it stands alone on its own, even though there is some kind of negativity, but I'm not going to spoil that for you. But it survived as its own thing. And if you are paying attention, if you're actually listening, you actually get that certain things are resolved by the end. However, let me just go ahead and say this one thing. For all of you who were upset about, if anybody watched the Ms. Marvel Disney show, Disney Plus streaming show, if you had any issues with like Ms. Marvel, the Ms. Marvel TV show, or Iman Vellani, who plays Kamala Khan, yeah, y'all can like start shutting up, because you gotta remember, Iman Vellani in Ms. Marvel, playing Kamala Khan, she was fairly new to the whole acting thing. That was her first big role, and now she had the movie, and it feels like she's slowly, evolving as an actress. But considering the fact that she is a Marvel fangirl, and she's playing the part of a character inside the Marvel universe who is a fangirl herself, it feels so believable, and I love it. And she was the star, like, she was the best character of this movie. Like, she's the one that you're just like, oh, like, you're laughing about everything that she does. It's great. Also, Brie Larson does a great job of, in my opinion, bringing that. Brie Larson and Teyonah. Brie and Teyonah, they do a good job of giving that narrative of, like, aunt to niece type situation, and why there's a disappearance and all that stuff. And yes, if this movie wasn't so plot specific, we could have had a little bit more build up of the characterization. But come on, if you really want the full characterization between Carol Danvers uh, and Monica Rambeau, well, we could have got a series for it and all that stuff. You would have been in the movie theater for a lot longer than looks like 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. So there's obviously going to be certain things that are gonna you're gonna have to like kind of cut, and I feel bad that was one of those things that were cut. But in all honesty, I feel like there would have been more characterization if it wasn't so much stuff we had to get through. Also, as anybody who's seen the movie so far, the cat's situation of the entire movie, that is hilarious. that was the best thing in the world. Yeah, there are a few things that are just kind of off about the movie, but overall the movie is actually decent. Like if you're a regular person, you should go see this. And I'm not saying that to like build up Marvel's thing. I will immediately say if a movie was bad, look, I want The Flash to succeed, and that movie was horrible. I wanted Dragon Ball, as much as I'm a Dragon Ball fan, and we have this unspoken word that we're never supposed to speak about this movie. I wanted Dragon Ball Evolution to actually work, and it failed. It was straight garbage. Also, like The Last Airbender was straight garbage. So I'm gonna tell you when I think the movie was really, really horrible. And at the end of the day, like out of all the actual MCU films that came out this year, besides I would give Captain Marvel the middle point. Like if we had, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We had Guardians of the Galaxy, and I believe now is the Marvels, right? Those are the Marvel movies. Those are the MCU movies of this year, right? Guardians, of course, Volume 3, that got number 1. But I feel like Marvels would be a good number 2. And Ant-Man and Quantumania, even though I did enjoy it, and I did like Jonathan Majors' role as Kang the Conqueror. He did a great job, in my opinion. But at the same time, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, lowest one of this particular out of the 3 Marvel movies that we've had so far this year. Not including Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. So yeah, I like if you're willing to go see a movie and you're not trying to hook yourself into those buzzwords that I'm going to explain in another video that I've been thinking about. Yeah, this movie is worth the watch. It's worth the money to go see. It's a good family movie, especially with Kamala's family being in it throughout the whole thing. It's not trying to push any narrative. It's not trying to push this agenda. It's literally just a feel-good movie, in my opinion. Something similar to what Thor Ragnarok was. Thor Ragnarok wasn't trying to push any narrative. It was just a feel-good movie. And that's where Thor Love and Thunder kind of fell. It was too much of a feel-good movie. Whereas the Marvels was like, I would consider the Marvels similar to like to Thor Ragnarok, because of the fact that it was like writing the ship. Only it rewrote the ship. It righted the ship. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about RIGHT. It rewrited the ship to the point where like a lot earlier than Thor did. Like Thor, we had Thor and Dora the Dark World before we finally got like a nice middle ground of what Thor should be. And then Thor Love and Thunder went too far with it. Went too far in the other direction. Whereas the Marvels, if they can keep this up with like another Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, or Monica Rambeau led movie, they'll do a great job if they just stick to this particular thing. There is a few things that can be fixed with time. Take some good criticism from this. Hopefully, the directors and the writers who made this movie, if they, I'm gonna give a full criticism on it, but hopefully they'll understand that. Look, I actually do enjoy this movie. There are a few things that you could kind of fix, and once I get a real good idea of what could be fixed, I'm gonna wait until the movie comes out on DVD or Blu-ray before I actually give my full criticism on it. But there are the few things that can be fixed, and once I can nail those down, I'll give a full criticism on it. But overall, the movie was good. It was worth the money. Yes, I went to the matinee version, but out of anything, it's worth the money. It was worth the money I spent. Especially compared to The Flash, that was not worth the money I spent. I spent that money. I know I risked that money, but at the end of the day, I wish I had that money back. Whereas this one, I have no problem. I had no problem using up I'd say about $30, on tickets and getting snacks and all that stuff. I had no problem spending that $30 because it was worth the time spent. I laughed. I enjoyed myself. I had I felt some emotions, and I also felt I saw some good action scenes, in my honest opinion. I had time, and it didn't feel like it was being forced upon me or was at the wrong time. So yeah, I enjoyed it. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's it for this video. I will, like I said, I'll make another more detailed criticism when I actually have a chance to be able to rewatch it over and over and over again, whether it be on Disney Plus or whether I actually buy Blu-ray, which I'm actually willing to buy this Blu-ray. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.